Top of the morning, evening, night, or day, ladies and gentlemen. This is me here today on behalf of Well Prepared Men, and I hope everyone's well and good. In today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about the watches that I was thinking about selling and why I decided against it. So if that sounds right up your alley, don't forget to stay up until the very end. Roll the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain, and the following video is for subscribed devices only.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The watches that I wanted to talk to you about today are going to be 18 in total, but I don't have them all here. And we're going to talk a little bit about them individually. But first, we're going to explore a few of the reasons why I took these watches off the market. So, reason number one is I already sold 4 watches out of the watches that I had for sale. And every single time I sold a watch, it broke my heart a little bit. I bought these watches because I enjoy them for one reason or another. And separating from them without having the financial need, it didn't seem like something I wanted to do. I was selling these watches at a profit. I made a profit in every single one of them. I felt like I was profiting from people's stupidity. And it's not how I want to play my cards, if that makes sense. I'm here to show you the way and have fun. I was having fun selling watches because I enjoy haggling and talking to people about things I enjoy, but I wasn't having fun shipping the watches out of this box that we have here to their new owners. I took the majority of my adverts down. I think I only have 2 or 3 watches for sale at the moment. And those are for reasons that I can't wear them. The bracelet is either too small and doesn't fit my wrist properly, or I'm gonna keep it. So, we're gonna talk a little bit about some of the watches that I decided to keep and why. And in order to do that properly, I'm gonna flip the camera so you guys can see this as well as I can. As you can see, this box is not complete. I have a few watches which are currently in the repair shop, and I don't know even if with those watches included I would fill up this box, but I would be very, very close to filling it up if those watches were here, and hopefully they will be in a future episode. But for the sake of today's video, I'm going to show you what's already here. I decided that I deserve to wear a different watch every day, and these here that I was thinking about selling are going to be the ones that I'm going to wear the most. Reason being, I was thinking about selling them. So that means they're they might mean something to me, but they're not the most desirable watches in my collections. If anything happens to them, which I hope it doesn't, but if anything were to happen, I would feel more peaceful on the inside knowing that the watches that I actually care about are somewhere safe. Watch number one that I want to talk to you guys about is this Emile Pequignet. I picked up this watch on Vinted as I did the majority of watches that I have here. It's a Cartier Tank Homage that I picked up super cheap. It's got a manual wind movement, and this satisfies my desire to wear a Cartier. And I'm really happy because this cost 1/10 of what a Cartier costs, and it allowed me to save some money. I wear this and I'm like, okay, I got my Cartier desires out of the way. I don't need a Cartier. I wouldn't mind owning a Cartier, but I don't need or want one as long as this watch is working. And that is a beautiful way to save money, in my opinion, because I get to enjoy the feeling without having paid the price. Second watch that I want to talk to you guys about is this Orient here that I put on this beautiful blue strap, and this was a really cheap watch. I paid 15 euros for this watch, but it's really awesome. It's just a super cheerful piece. It's simple, it's elegant, it's not in focus. Just realized that I had the image stabilization on and the focus wasn't working properly. So hopefully this will be a little bit better, guys. This was one of the watches that I regretted the most having for sale, and I'm happy that no one bought it because I'm super happy wearing it. It's just a super elegant experience that I picked up for super cheap, and I'm not scared of ruining this watch. So I'll wear it when I skate, I wear it when I cycle, and that makes me feel really stylish doing those things. It's just a super cheap find that I made on Vinted that I ended up really enjoying. The next watch that I want to talk to you guys about is my Timex Q. This watch is not on its original strap. It's currently on a bracelet that I picked up on Vinted. I buy a lot of things on Vinted, as you guys have probably already figured out. But this watch here, I bought because of the hype. I'm not usually a hype follower, but I followed the hype on this watch because my granddad had a Timex and I thought this Timex looked quite cool. Now, at the time I picked up this watch, I was still learning about horology, and I still am at the moment. There's a lot of things in watches that I do not know, but I know a little bit more than I did when I first picked up this watch. And this watch was a hype purchase. I purchased this because this Timex was hype at the time, and I found it at a really good price. And I was like, it's kind of rude not to have a Timex in memory of my grandfather, who is still alive and well, by the way, but I want to remember him. And I have a Timex in my collection because of him. So, if it was today, I probably would have explored the Timex brand better and picked up a vintage Timex. This is a reissue. It means that it was made in the modern days with a vintage inspiration. I don't know if I explained that well. Basically, this watch is vintage inspired, but it's modern. And if it was today, I would have gone for a more collectible piece and not followed the hype. But overall, I think this is a pretty beautiful piece. It fits a little bit big on my wrist. As you guys can see, this is about the maximum size I would wear on my wrist. But it's nevertheless very beautiful. I want to appreciate here the side lugs with you guys because it's a very beautiful design. I think this is elegant, you know what I mean? So let's give it up for the Hype Watch, also known as my Timex Q. Just like I did here with this watch, my granddad did the same thing with his father. So I was introduced to Connie watches by my grandfather. According to word of mouth, my great grandfather used to wear a county watch, and my grandfather collected a few county watches because of him, and I collected a few county watches because of my grandfather. So it's like a stairway going on over here. Connie has been on our wrists for longer than 75 years. How cool is that? I think that's a really fun fact about my family. What's wrong with you, dog? By the way, guys, this is a manual wind watch and it's super old, but it's so precise, it's incredible. I really like how things were well built back in the day. If you see how long this watch has been working for, it's been 65 years. This is incredible. This watch has been working for at least 65 years. I presume this is from the 60s, and we're currently in 2025. It really shows us that we had a right to repair our things and we didn't live in a replace or in a throwaway society. You know what I mean? So the next watch that I'm going to talk to you guys about is a Corteber Spirofix Precision. I hope I'm saying that name correctly. This watch, if you like trains, blues, harmonicas, and adventure, this is a watch that it really reminds me of all of those things. It's such a classy timepiece, And I believe that this brand, Carterbert, used to be used in France as the official timekeeper of railway places or stations or the watches that told train people the time. Don't know if I'm explaining that well, but if I'd go on a train journey, I'd take this watch. It just reminds me of trains. It's got a manual wind movement, again, from the 60s, and it's a super precise watch, man. They really made quality things back in the day. This watch is on a NATO strap because it's got solid lugs here. The NATO strap is silver. I need to get a gold one eventually that fits the vibe of the watch a little bit better. But in terms of color, this NATO strap couldn't be any better actually. So basically, I just need to find a strap like this with gold bits instead of silver bits because I really like the color combination going on over here. The next watch we're going to talk about is my Pagani design. We've already spoken a lot about this watch on the channel actually, but here it is again on a different strap. So this is a crappy strap that I picked up on Vinted. The main reason why I put this watch on a crappy strap instead of on its original bracelet is because I wanted to downdress this watch. I think it looks beautiful on its original bracelet, but I wanted to wear a day date without everyone knowing that I'm wearing a day date. So I put it on this really shitty strap so it's a little bit more low key, if that makes sense. And like that, I get to enjoy it more often than I would. And I like that. I like being able to enjoy day dates whenever I want because it's one of my favorite watch models. So here it is, Pagani Design 1752 under bracelet. Next watch we're going to talk about today was given by my grandfather. It's currently not working. I need to put a battery in it to even see if it works. It was just gifted to me and I put it here in the watch box and never actually used it. So, my grandfather also collects watches, but he likes silver watches. And he had three watches that I'm going to show you laying around. And it just gave them to me because he realized I like gold watches. Limit was the watch brand that I wore as a teenager. I had a Limit day date that I haven't been able to find. Now that I'm really into watches, I would really love to have that watch back or find it or yeah, I would really like to find. I don't know where I left it. Anyway, this here is a brand that is represented in my life because I wore it a lot as a teenager, and it's represented here with this particular watch as a way to remember where I actually started appreciating watches. And here it is, my Limit watch. Next, we have an Accurist watch. This is a brand that was British, I believe, and they made really good quartz timepieces that were affordable and stylish. Look at this watch, man. I think there's a lot of intricacy here, and I don't know, I just really appreciate the details. This watch was given to me by my grandfather, and it needs a new battery. As a matter of fact, it needs a battery because it doesn't have anything in here so it doesn't leak. And like that, I'm able to keep the watch without working, without damaging the movement. The next watch is a Seiko SNXL72. This is a really beautiful watch in my opinion. I think the bracelet that the watch comes in originally is a little bit tacky, but since I swapped it to the bracelet, I've been wearing this watch a lot more often. I stopped wearing it initially because I put a nick here on the top. I don't know if you can see. Let me zoom in. I put a nick here on the top. Can you see that? That was me. I dropped the watch at work. I stopped wearing it, but since I put it on this bracelet, I've really been inspired to wear this watch. It's just a really beautiful wear. I really like sleeping with this watch also because the crown is here in this position hidden. And when the crown is here, there's usually more things that can go wrong in the watch while you sleep if it doesn't have a screw-in crown. So I really like this crown here for sleeping purposes. It basically protects the watch from any damage I might cause while sleeping. The next watch that I want to talk to you guys about is another Connie. This particular watch here is the Connie Master. I think this is a super classy watch and it looks more beautiful in person than it does in camera. These indices here are very, very flashy. You can notice them super well as long as there's a little bit of light, they will shine. The case also has a very intricate design, and overall, it's a square watch with a round dial. I think this is a really interesting watch. I picked this up for super cheap on Vinted. As a matter of fact, I think this was my cheapest Connie. I picked this up for 20 euros and this one for 30. These are super beautiful additions to my collection because they're watches with a lot of history, both in the world and in my family, and they're well-made watches. The day it swaps bang on at midnight, and I just want to show you guys this. Okay, so a little bit before midnight, but it's amazing. This is a very old watch, guys, and it's here working with this level of quality, and I think that is amazing. Let's see it again. That's beautiful in my opinion. Anyway, the next watch that I'm going to talk to you guys about is a Citizen Automatic given by my grandfather. This is one of the three watches that my grandfather had laying around that weren't stainless steel that I didn't enjoy, and he gave this, and this to me. Out of the three, this is my favorite because Citizen is the brand that a lot of people in my family wear these days instead of Connie. And I think it's super awesome that I have my own Citizen. This is here as a celebration piece. I wear this less often than I should, but it's here in my watch box, so I create some memories with this watch while my grandfather is alive and well, and we can create them. Next, I have a Commodore Datejust. This, in my opinion, is a watch that I overpaid for. I paid 90 euros for this watch on Vinted. And the reason why I overpaid for this watch is because the movement is nothing special. This is a Datejust that I picked up on Vinted in order to confirm that if Datejusts were my thing or not. Turns out I'm more of a day guy. The Datejust to me is an incomplete day date. This Datejust confirmed it. However, I think this looks really beautiful on the wrist. Ends up being a me watch because it's gold on gold and I really like the colors and I ended up keeping it for that reason. So this for me is as cheap and disposable as watches get, but bearing that in mind, this still looks very elegant, doing a job. I can wear this during the summertime when there's loads of people around, and if anyone gets tempted to steal my watch, they will be left with absolute nothing. My nothing special Rolex. Alright guys, that pretty much brings us to the very end of what I have in this box. I still have a few watches missing, like my Casios, my Zenith, another Citizen, but the main thing I wanted to share with you in today's video is the concept. I'm not going to be selling any watches, I'm going to be enjoying them. As a matter of fact, if the watches that I have scattered don't fill up this box, I'm actually going to buy more watches. And yeah, these watches here are going to be the watches that I'm going to wear every single day, alternate daily. And those watches that I've shown you in my last video are watches that I'm going to keep safe and look after and baby and cherish. That pretty much brings us to the very end of today's video. I hope you have enjoyed. talking a little bit about watches. I'm into this hobby because I enjoy it, not because I want to profit from you. So I want to thank the people that enjoy these videos and have stuck with me up until the very end. I hope you have the rest of an amazing day, guys. This is your boy, logging out. Peace!